Hi, I'm Gary White for Channel 6, Central Kentucky Television. I'm here at the Marion County Extension Office with Juanita Herring. And today, we are going to make sloppy garden joes, right?
That is exactly right. Have you ever had them?
I don't think so. What makes them different from traditional sloppy joes?
Okay. Well, you know, sloppy joes are good anyway, right?
Exactly.
But this one, you're going to find out. And I'm just going to go ahead and read the ingredients, and you're going to see. Of course, you know, we're going to use one diced yellow onion or an onion, whatever you've got. But we're going to use some shredded carrots.
Okay.
Gary, have you ever had carrots in your sloppy joes?
I don't think so. This will be something unique.
Something different.
Yes.
And then
I like carrots, so that's okay.
Okay, and it's a good way to get some of that vitamin A in there with those kids too, you know? We're going to use some green peppers. We're going to use a pound of ground turkey, not ground beef. And this is 93% lean, 7% fat. So it's not going to have any fat in it, Gary. We're going to be really healthy.
That's right.
We're going to use an 8-ounce can of no salt added tomato sauce. We're going to use a 1 15-ounce can of no salt crushed tomatoes and a 1 6-ounce can of mushroom pieces. And then we're going to use 1/4 cup of barbecue sauce. And then we're going to use a whole wheat bun. And that is going to be our little sloppy garden joes.
Sounds good to me. Sounds like a nice healthy option, right?
It is a healthy option. And I know I was asking you about the carrots. You know, we're finding out that we're not eating enough vegetables, you know. We're saying all of us is not eating. But you know, a lot of times when I kind of always try to gear a little bit for young people or somebody that's not eating a lot of vegetables, you could dice these carrots, and you can see right here that our carrots are chopped pretty fine, right? If you wanted to, you could even puree them just a little bit to try to get those kids to eat a little bit more carrots, you know.
Well, if they're not eating the carrots anyway, they probably won't see it because their eyes won't be too good, so.
Okay, there you go. Good point, Gary. Hadn't thought of that. Well, let me tell you how we're going to put this together.
Okay.
Now, if you all are out there and you're thinking, okay, I know how to make sloppy joes, and I'm sure you do, but this is something that is good. It's almost a one skillet meal. Okay. And we all like convenience, right?
That's right.
So what we're going to do, we're going to saute our onions, carrots, and green peppers and our ground turkey in our electric skillet here, and we're just going to cook it for about 10 minutes or until the juices run clear. Why are we going to have those juices run clear of that meat? We don't want it. We know it's cooked thoroughly when we're doing that.
That's why.
And we're just going to cook. I didn't mean to put you on the spot, Gary. And after we cook that, we saute that, and then we're going to add our tomato sauce or crushed tomatoes, mushrooms, barbecue sauce. We're going to bring it to a pretty good boil, and then we're just going to let it cook down, just real easy. And then you just put it on your whole wheat bun, and you've got it going.
Sounds good to me.
But the good thing, can I just go ahead and say, with this recipe, it always has the menus, and this is from the University of Kentucky recipes. And if we always use tried and true recipes here, okay? And with this menu, you can do now some roasted sweet potato slices to make this a whole meal, maybe some apples or some kind of fruit, and a glass of milk. So you've got a whole meal.
Okay, you got that whole area covered.
Yeah, yeah. And this is only $1.32 per serving. And this makes about 8 servings.
Fantastic.
So that's pretty cheap, right?
Absolutely.
All right, you ready to get started, Gary?
I'm ready to get started.
All right. Well, we're going to use this ground turkey. We're finding out more and more people are using ground turkey now than the ground beef. It looks like ground beef, doesn't it? Just not as red.
Exactly.
And I'm just going to put this in here. I'm trying not to touch it here, Gary.
My mom, when I was younger, she must have been ahead of the game because she used to use ground turkey because my dad had some heart issues. So instead of having the ground beef, so we'd have meatloaf made with ground turkey and hamburgers and all that kind of stuff. And we even had turkey bacon instead of regular bacon back then too. And it tastes good.
It does taste good. That turkey bacon is pretty good, Gary. Yeah. I think the turkey sausage is pretty good too.
Yes. Yeah.
So we are turned on here, and I'm just going to break up my ground turkey, and you can see, of course, it's not as red as your beef, but it doesn't have the fat in it either, so that makes it
a healthier option.
A healthier option.
Okay.
Now I know our beef producers out there is not You know, saying we got to eat that beef. Well, that is true. We do like to eat beef, but you know,
complement it.
Yes, just try something different.
Yes.
Okay.
Because our turkey farmers need to eat some turkey too.
That's exactly right. But you know, we have a lot here in this county that are beef producers.
So, does the turkey take as long to cook as the beef?
I don't think so. I don't think so. We find it not quite as long as the ground beef. But then again, it doesn't have the fat in it that ground beef does. Even though if we're buying the extra lean ground beef, it's not going to be. So I have already just pre-chopped. You see these pretty carrots in here. And like I said, I chopped them pretty fine. Because you know, sometimes I hear people say, I don't like carrots. I don't like carrots. Give them carrots a try. They're delicious.
Good stuff.
They're good stuff. They're good for those eyes, right, Gary?
Absolutely. That's right. I can see them.
You can see them. Gary can see these right here in the skillet. And I've cut up some onion. Onion makes everything good, right?
You can smell those onions too.
They're very strong. And then I'm just going to take, it called for 1 green pepper, and it was a small green pepper. So I had a large green pepper, so I just cut it in 2 and just put about half of it.
Okay.
Now, I know that right now people are, probably their gardens is kind of winding down, right? But you know, if you've got some extra things in that garden, you could even throw that in this little sloppy Joe.
It is called a sloppy garden Joe,
Yeah,
so.
it is. So, you know, you could put whatever.
Right.
And you can see it's going to be very colorful. We're just going to...
Yeah. And this will be easy cleanup then, too.
That's what I like, cleanup, easy cleanup. You know, kids have headed back to school now, and I know that they're probably in soccer practice, they're in everything, probably going on. Moms and dads don't have a lot of time to cook.
Right.
You know, this would be something that it would be a quick meal and a good healthy meal.
And also what's good about it is people, if they come at different times, can eat it at different times. Because once it's cooked, it can kind of simmer and still have it. If somebody comes home later or somebody's earlier or whatever, you can kind of have it available for everybody.
Just a tad here, Gary, so we can cook. Yeah, I know. And I'm all about this quick cleanup, you know.
Absolutely.
I know.
Now, this one isn't in the calendar for this year, right? This is just from the UK, right?
This is from UK. Anytime anybody's wanting any of our recipes, if you don't have a calendar, if we're not using a calendar recipe, just give us a call here, 270-692-2421.
Right. And they can get you that recipe as well and pass it along, email it to you or what have you, so you can make your own sloppy garden joes, right? Sloppy garden joes.
And let me say this too, Gary, with our recipes, we always try to have a recipe that is cost efficient. You know, we don't want to spend all of our money in our food, right? But it's always good, something healthy, and pretty less costly, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So while that is cooking here, Gary, and I tell you what, look here, Gary, what have I got here today?
A strainer.
I've got a strainer. You ever seen a collapsible strainer?
That's pretty cool.
This is one of our new little gadgets that UK has sent us, and they're wonderful.
UK Blue.
UK Blue, of course. And it's a collapsible strainer. So I'm going to take my mushrooms, and I'm going to open them, and then we're going to strain those and let those drain a little bit.
Okay. And so we're doing that so there's not as much liquid in...
We don't need all the liquid. Okay. We're going to use the liquid from our tomatoes, though, but not our mushrooms, okay?
Okay, yes.
Let me just get this over here.
So you don't want to have all that water and stuff being brought in there because it would kind of be too much potentially and won't have the consistency as nice.
And we're just going to let these be draining.
Okay.
And if you wanted to, you can chop them up a little finer if you want to. And some people might say, I do not like mushrooms. Okay, if you do not like a mushroom, you do not have to add it, right? You might have a family that does not like mushrooms. You might add them to the side if somebody likes it.
Right. But it's a color thing, too, that you might not be able to tell once they're in there.
Exactly, exactly. Gary, you got it down.
Mix them in. Hide things in there to make sure.
That's right.
So the mushrooms and the carrots And I guess the peppers are kind of the unique items.
Yes,
Right.
unique. I think most of our sloppy joes will even say that they'll add some peppers or some type of pepper. Now I'm going to go ahead and open up my tomato sauce too. We'll have that ready to go.
Okay, and so we're going to have tomato sauce. Is barbecue sauce traditionally added as well, or is that something? Is that kind of your preference?
That's kind of a preference for anybody.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know that I traditionally had barbecue sauce with it, so when you mentioned that, but I guess some people do.
Yes.
It's just like whether you have noodles with your chili or not, right?
Exactly. It depends on what part of the country you live in, right?
Exactly.
Okay, I'm going to. This is not cooking as fast as I need it to, Mr. Gary.
Okay. Well, that's all right. It's looking good. So you're saying that you can tell it's finished when the liquid runs clear. Okay.
Yes. You know, a lot of times if we are using meat, we usually use a meat thermometer. Well, with this, you can't use a meat thermometer on that. But if you're using ground turkey, you're using ground beef, you want to always make sure that that liquid is clear. Okay? And, you know, with the ground turkey, I don't know if the camera can see, but Gary, you can see it's still got a little of that pinkish in there.
Yeah. Because you want that grayish brownish color is actually cooked through.
And if we were using ground beef, it would turn brown. But with the ground turkey, you can see it's still going to be a lighter color.
Yes.
And we're just going to break it up.
So we've added in here, we have our ground beef, or ground turkey, excuse me. Alrighty. We have our ground turkey, which gives us our little more lean, healthy option. We have the onions, which would be traditionally in a sloppy, right? And then we have the carrots and the peppers so far are what we've added.
Exactly. You've got it. And it's simple. And it is just about...
And what temperature are you using?
Well, I'm using my electric skillet today because it's easier to use electric skillet. And I have it on about 400 because I'm trying to get it to cook pretty fast. Okay. If you were using your traditional stove, anybody that cooks would probably not cook theirs quite this fast, you know.
Okay. We're trying to get this cooked up for you, of course, right? For our
We're doing TV, right?
And it is the Sloppy Garden Joes, and contact Juanita here at the Marion County Extension Office. Or if you're in Nelson County or Washington, just tell you that you saw this on Channel 6, and they can help you get that copy as well from your extension office there.
Yes, their extension office, Washington counties, Nelson counties, they have access to the same recipes that we do here.
Okay. And these have been done at up in UK with their kitchen, right, to make them an option.
Yes, every recipe we have has been tried, not only making, they try to get the cost, but they always have somebody there to taste them. That'd be a pretty good job, wouldn't it?
Exactly. How do you apply for that?
I don't know. I don't have that job, Gary. I'm going to go ahead and this is 1 can of diced tomatoes. Remember I said no salt added, right?
Right.
And we haven't put any salt in anything, have we?
We have not yet.
We have not, and we're not going to.
That's right.
We're not going to. But anytime that, let me add this about the no salt added. You see it says no salt added on the can. I'm putting my tomato sauce in there, but it does have salt in it. If you read the ingredients, it will say it'll have a little bit of salt, but it just
it's preservative.
Yes, it just has a little less.
Right.
Now,
and that's why you don't need to add more because it's
exactly
already
right. That's exactly right.
Yeah. And you're getting some of the various different nutrients from the different items that are in there too, that add kind of different flavors.
Exactly, and then we're seeing too, we don't need a lot of salt. Again, that's one of the things. And you can see it's starting to bubble. And I'm just going to put these, like I said, I'm going to put them in. They're just little pieces, but...
And that's the mushrooms.
That's the mushrooms has been in. But again, if you have somebody that you're trying to hide those mushrooms, you might just want to cut them a little smaller, okay?
Right. Yes.
Now, let's...
Sneak them in there.
And sneak them, that's right, we'd sneak them. Now, Gary, I think we've got everything but one ingredient, don't we?
Our bun?
No.
Oh.
What'd we leave out?
Oh, my.
Oh, he's got it. We haven't got our barbecue sauce in there.
Oh, that's right. I can't put that out of my mind. We need to get, yes, the barbecue sauce.
The barbecue sauce, that's right. And it doesn't say any particular brand of barbecue sauce, so you can use your favorite barbecue sauce and 1/4 of a cup.
Okay. Now, if you were making sloppy joes, would you have added barbecue sauce to yours, to the traditional way?
Probably not. I do make my own barbecue sloppy joes at home. Yes, I do.
Okay, not your own barbecue sauce.
Oh,
You don't make your own barbecue sauce.
No. Just my
sloppy
own
joes,
sloppy joe. No.
Maybe one time we'll have to do Juanita's sloppy joes.
Well, you're talking about a garden sloppy joe. Mine's got everything in it, you know.
You got all that stuff in there.
Got all that stuff, but now good, healthy stuff.
Absolutely.
And you can see, Gary, I don't know if the people out there in TV can see, but it's beginning to get very colorful.
Absolutely.
And I said,
great.
this will make eight regular size sloppy joes, okay? Is about what it makes. So that's a pretty good amount to eat.
And how many calories? I think I saw in there, it was like,
Okay. You want to
how
see
many
the
calories is that?
Okay, I'm going to pull this over. For one sandwich, now that's including our bun also.
Okay.
One sandwich is 280 calories. So that's not bad. You could, like you said, you could do some other type of vegetables. They suggest doing some roasted sweet potato slices. If you don't like them, you could do maybe a lot of people just like to use a little side salad or something. Just get a little bit more of those vegetables in.
Yes.
And but it doesn't have a lot of fat in it either. Doesn't have but 7 grams of fat.
Wow.
In a whole sandwich. So, I mean, this is something healthy, Gary.
Absolutely.
Something healthy.
And that's what we're looking for, something healthy they can get here at the Marion County Cooperative Extension Service. Juanita's always giving us good ideas.
Yes, and we try to, Gary. But, if you're out there and you are making this, like you suggested, maybe if everybody can't eat it one time at home, this is something that you could keep, heat up, and let somebody, the families dragging in at different times.
Right,
you could still have it, and it would still taste good.
Absolutely. And you could also have it without the bun, if you're trying not to eat some of the bread, too.
You could, but now that bun, that 100% whole wheat bun, and that's what we're going to use today. That we do need, that's part of my plate, that we got to have some of those grains in there, right?
That's right.
So with this, we have some grains, right? We've got some vegetables, we've got our protein, don't have any dairy in there. We could have a glass of milk to make sure we get some of that dairy. And that tomato, it can also be considered a fruit, right?
That's right.
Yeah. There we go.
There's that debate, fruit or vegetable. But you got both of them in there then, either way, you're getting something good.
We got it.
Well, that looks really nice. Very good, very good. Cool. And if you're interested in the recipe, you can contact Juanita here at the Marion County Cooperative Extension Service, and she'd be happy to get you that recipe for the sloppy garden joes. And then when you try it, let us know. Send us a little message and see what you think, right?
Yes, excuse me. I think those onions has got up my...
Your nose?
I know.
They're strong.
I know. Can you smell that aroma?
It smells good. It smells very, very good.
Probably if anybody walked in, they could say, something's cooking, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And you just want, it's very pretty. So, I said we're going to use whole wheat buns. So, I have found, you found those little slider buns?
Yeah.
You ever tried those?
Yeah.
Okay, a slider bun even has less calories in it, right? So if a person did want to eat it, you said you could eat it with no bread or whatever, but we could just do a little slider bun, and those are some of my favorites now.
Absolutely.
But we want to try to use that 100% whole wheat with it, though.
Then you can maybe have 2.
Have 2. There you go, Gary. And makes you think you're eating a lot, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's the thing too. When I go out to eat, I like to get at least 2 or 3 items, it's like a side, because then you feel like you're eating more.
You feel like you've got a lot to eat.
Exactly.
And you can see it's still bubbling. and it thickens up. You know, we had the juice from the tomatoes, and we had the sauce, and then we added our 1/4 cup of barbecue sauce.
Right.
So, you know, would you like for me to just read that recipe one more time?
That'd be perfect. That'd be great.
Okay. We used a small diced, and it calls for yellow onions, but you could use whatever good white onion or yellow onion. We're going to use, we used about a cup of diced carrots, 1 small diced green pepper, a pound of ground turkey, 8-ounce can of tomato sauce, and 1 15-ounce can of crushed tomatoes, and 1 6-ounce can of mushrooms, and 1/4 cup of barbecue sauce.
Fantastic. And then put them on our buns, and we're ready to eat our sloppy garden joes.
Here we go, Gary.
Absolutely. Okay. See, since we're making them with the smaller buns, you're going to have a really nice display there, a lot of them. That's great. And leftovers are good with sloppy joes as well.
Exactly.
You know, you can have them for it.
I'm sorry, I'm sneezing today. You know, these ragweeds are kindly.
Allergies we'll get to.
Oh, they will.
So have you taught this recipe to the kids yet?
Not yet. I'm just getting started back with the kids. So, we have got, let me just wipe our area off. But Gary, there goes our little garden sloppy joes. And I'm just going to pull the top off so that the people can see.
Absolutely.
So this is one of the easiest recipes that we can make.
Fantastic. And then its cleanup is easy too.
Clean up. All we have is a plate here and a skillet, right?
That's right. And again, I've been talking with Juanita Hearn down at the Marion County Cooperative Extension Service. You can get the recipe for the Sloppy Garden Joes from the Extension Office in your county as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gary.
Thank you. This has been Gary White for Channel 6, Central Kentucky Television.